I am really feeling that beat right there, man. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Yo, it's your boy Mikey, man. Can we keep it real podcast? What's going on? We back with another live one, man. Like I said earlier, we jump in state lines, man. We don't care. We're bringing it to the people. A big shout out to my guy Stanley Dunbar. Get over there, Breakthrough 7v7 passing league, summer passing league coming up at Conley Stadium. Gonna be on Sunday. It's gonna be lit from June 26th to July 31st. Vendors, get out there if you're looking for a spot. Definitely get out there and get a spot. Big shout out to Mark Wright, Coldwell Banker Coastal Homes. We definitely support those who support youth sports, man. And check out our episode yesterday. A lot of good conversation about private school transfers, public school. Why is everybody up in arms when a public school transfers to another public school? Everyone acts like it's recruiting, but definitely check out that. A guy from the inner city school, Central, Mike Washington, you know, that was a very good episode. Great information on Charahoe, new coach, man. So you see Coach Slammer on Billy Scamaggio, but we're gonna bring in who's running Connecticut football? Who?
Hey,
who's running Connecticut football? My man, Phil, a.k.a. Mr. Above 140. You got to check that temperature. It's my guy from over the state lines, man. What's up, Phil?
What's up, man? What's up? Again, I'm going to apologize to the people. I usually like to be a little bit more professional in the studio, like I said, but I'm running around meeting all-star head coaches, giving them sizing kits to get these kids sized and everything since the teams got selected. But I'm doing good, brother. I'm doing good.
You got something big coming up, man. 860, what is it, verse 203?
Yeah, man. So, it's a Connecticut Youth All-Star game where we split the state in half by area code. And we basically have tryouts at 8, 10, 12, and 14. All they pay is a tryout fee. Everything else, we raise the money for to make sure that these kids can bang out. And
we'll get Phil Bryant back on, but until we do, you can definitely catch up with him. He's on Facebook under Phil Bryant. I'll let him get a plug in too. I think he does uniforms, merchandise, but we're gonna get him back up in here in just 1 second. So if you go on Facebook and you look up Phil Bryant, yeah, he's gonna reconnect. You go on Facebook, you look up Phil Bryant, you'll come up with it. Connecticut big game, 860 versus 203. Let's get him back up here.
My bad, man. My bad.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good. This is how we do it. This is why we live and direct,
Yeah. So, like I was saying, man, the reason that the game came about is mainly because I was once I was once a broke kid in the hood that couldn't afford nothing. And I thought that it was too many all-star games that was charging these inner city kids money that with a real talent couldn't perform. So I wanted to make sure we could put on something for these prep schools where we can expose the inner city talent to the prep schools without it costing the mother $400, $500, $600 to go to Jersey and play in some bullshit game where some athletic director is supposed to be. And so that's how this whole thing came about, just to provide opportunities.
That's what up, my man Nadeem Robinson said, "What's up?" Shot
Tell
out
Nas
behind
what up,
the
man.
pads.
That's my guy right there.
Oh yeah, definitely good people. Does a lot for the kids. Definitely shout out behind the pads. They're always doing.
Listen, I want to send a shout out to Nadeem's wife because I believe she's the hardest working young lady in the youth football world. Shout out. I mean, it's not a time she don't got the camera. She ain't whatnot. I just want to shout out the ladies out there that ride with their husbands doing this because it breaks up a lot of relationships and it's good to see them do it together. But that's all I wanted to do.
Not really. Always definitely. I say that all the time. We don't give enough shout out to the coaches' wives. Because it takes a whole lot to get these things going, and especially Coach Nod. I ask him all the time, "Do you ever sleep?" Yeah. Everything he does, for these Providence kids, and Look, youth football. We're talking about when I talked to my guys down at the sports farm, they knew who Coach Nod was. Everybody know who Coach Nod was. Nadim said, bro, she's sitting right here and said, thank you so much, Phil.
Definitely welcome. Definitely.
You know what I mean? I just sent Coach Nod a quick link just in case he wanted to tap in. But I love what Coach Nod has going on. But what else? Tell me more about the A60203.
I got a major announcement coming tomorrow. I can't. You know what? I'm gonna give you an exclusive before we end. I'm gonna tell you what the major announcement is. I think I'm gonna leak it tonight on your show, and then I'm gonna post it tomorrow. But so the way the game is, man, is going down in West Haven at 91 Bull Hill Lane. The games are 10, 12. 12, 2, 4, 6. The level of talent I'm seeing all around the state of Connecticut is crazy. We got Taft that tapped in. I might not say them all. Loomis Shafee going to be there. We got Avon O Farms. We got Brunswick. We got prep schools out of Mass that's going to be there. We got public high school coaches tapping in, telling me constantly, because people want talent. And this is like the biggest youth football event in the state of Connecticut. And it's really where these coaches could get up and see the talent all in one spot. Because if you think about it, coaches don't usually get to see all the talent in one location like this. And so that makes the game very, very big. And I'm going to tell you something that I found that was even more impressive, right? It was the fact that I had a prep school ask me, would the coaches that's coaching in the All-Star game be interested in taking a position if they made an offer? Now think about how that's even more expanding opportunities. We're talking about coaches possibly could get a job from coaching in the All-Star game.
I mean, that's great. I actually have your page up here, and you can actually follow Phil Bryant, who really runs Connecticut football. It's 7/16 starting at noon, right? All rosters are maxed out at 350 kids. Oh my!
That's how
Lord,
many kids,
350 kids.
300. We was at 300 about as of last week, and then another 50 showed up between the tryouts over the last week of 860 and 203. Another 50 tapped in. And last year, let me say, we didn't have a 10U game because one side couldn't fill the 10U, and I think only 2 teams had to make cuts because it wasn't enough. This year, every single team had to make cuts. We're talking about over 50 kids tried out for the 860 10U game.
That's what's up. I see you got New London up there in the house, as always. New London representing. How many different youth programs are involved?
Dude, there's a lot. I can tell you in 860, we see the New Britain Raiders. We see Hartford Hurricanes. I see Stafford. You see New London. You see Bloomfield. You see Windsor was out there. I can't. I think Simsbury might have been. I saw Simsbury helmet. Enfield was out there. It was a wider range this year than we had last year. Last year, it was mostly comprised of New London, Hartford, and New Britain. But I think with the amount of time we had to set it up, with the marketing dollars and the advertisement campaign we did behind it, using social media, we were able to reach a broader audience. And in 203, they're always deep, dude, with spread out. I think you got Waterbury, New Haven, and definitely Bridgeport. You might have had Danbury, but I seen Ansonia out there. I don't really know all of them. I seen Fairfield County teams out there.
So they all out there. The 203. Yo, Nadim said, what day is this? It's July 16th, if I'm not mistaken, right?
July 16th is at West Haven Field, Nadim, where Southern play their championship games. You remember that field? Yeah, it's on that field right there. It starts at noontime.
It starts at noon. People get out there, especially if you want to see some young kids coming up.
Yeah, listen, and it's talent all around the state. I mean, all around the state. Dudes got to understand, it's a beautiful situation for these kids. It's free exposure. And no, the prep schools may not be looking at the 7 and 8-year-old, but you know what? It's nothing better than to have these kids perform in front of the whole state to show their talents.
That's a fact. And let me tell you, these boys be in high school soon. I see the 14-year-old kids that Coach Nod is bringing up, and these kids are gonna be beast by time they in high school. And I'm sure you got the same shit rocking out there in Connecticut, Phil.
Dude,
Nadeem said you can't mention Connecticut football without talking about Coach Phil.
Yo, I'm actually blessed. I got to coach a kid last year, and I don't take no credit for the kid's successes because that's not what really I do. I'm just always happy to ever play a small part in anything that I do. But the kid, I want to send a shout out to Karan Craig because this is an 8th grader that played for me and took our team to a state championship game. And we went down to nationals and beat the number 2 14U team in the nation. And I tell you, this kid got 7 offers from D1 Rise. And I mean real offers. It's on my Facebook page. Ole Miss did a story and they have the Hurricane uniform on the front with him running the ball. Ole Miss offered this 8th grader a full ride. Rutgers did. Syracuse did. UConn ain't far behind. I'm talking about a SEC offer in the 8th grade.
That's what's up. That's him. We had a freshman get one in high school in the 9th grade. Shout out David Rodriguez. But 8th grade, that's odd. That's odd.
Yeah, he in the 8th grade, man. He in the 8th grade. He's going to Avano Farms to play football. Shout out to John Holy. They do a great job over there. Shout out to Stanley Williams from Supreme Athlete because that's who's working out Karan now, and he's traveling around to these camps with him. He just came from, I think, the Syracuse camp, and they made the offer on the spot. He's competing against high school 12th graders in the 8th grade. And, I mean, I heard he ran like a 4.5 something 40 at the camp. Like just crazy stuff. And I just wanted to send a shout out to a young man that
them UConn camp was off the chain a couple weeks ago, man.
I heard it was.
621 kids.
Wow.
Yeah, that it was, you all right. I'll tell you what. These kids, you got to get to your local camps. If you're looking to get recruited, these recruiters talk to each other. So he might not want you, but you got to get to your local camps. That's a fact.
100%, man, 100%. And I tell kids all the time, and I ask this question, I'll ask it to you. I believe, this is just my belief, if a college can look at an 8th grader, there's nothing that say prep school's not going to start looking at 4th and 5th graders.
Oh, yeah. That's a fact. And when they're going to start talking about NILs for youth, it's already working in the high school level.
Yep.
Coach
100%.
Nod was asking if, John Flamin asked, any relation to Jamie Rocket?
Hey, Rocket, my little brother.
He said, Rocket is a straight-up Connecticut legend.
He is, man. My brother. Listen, I'm going to tell you some funny story. I meet people, right? And it pisses me off because I'm his older brother. I'm older than him by 7 years. And they'll go, yo, you Rocket, brother? And I'm like, damn, like, that's how you know me, dog? Like, I'm Rocket.
That reminds me of Colors. Remember Colors back in the day? That's crazy. See what a small
Rocket, my little brother.
That's the people we have on these platforms. All football coaches, we just want to give coaches a place where their voice, they can speak their truth. And it ain't up to us to decide what's right or wrong. I just,
Let me say something All-Star game, if you don't mind, though.
Nah, do you. This is your time.
I want people to understand the situation we wrapping these kids around at this game. It's not that they just going to play football. We got 2 photographers. Shout out to Kim McCarthy, Diane Aguirre, she's going to be a photographer as well. I got a videographer that's going to be shout out to Dougie. He's going to be recording the whole situation, recording the whole game. And then we got a recording being done by drone the whole day for the kids as well, right? The game is also live streamed, right? And here's the big news. Ready? I just solidified.
Of course, when he drops the big news, he goes off. But we'll get Phil, aka, big event coming up July 16th. We should have him back in just a second. There we go. Yeah, you cut off right when you told us the big news. So let's repeat that.
So the big news is I just solidified a Teletron just now. just solidify the Teletron. It will be at the game. We will have these kids playing football, and they will be able to see themselves on Teletron.
You listening to Rhode Island? You listening? You see what my man in Connecticut? We just jumped over the state line. He got a Teletron coming.
Teletron coming. And let's say, I'm going to say it again. These kids tried out and paid a $40 fee, and everything else is taken care of.
For $40, man. 350 young men, and probably girls too, gonna be out there rocking, doing their thing.
We're live because I got my man Chris from 203 AU team, the 203 head coach. I told you I'm still handling business.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
To get the sizing kit, because y'all not holding that 203 AU down, baby. I'm coming. Tell my boy Mike Milner I'm coming to see him.
There you go.
So, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I told you, I'm out here. There go pants. All right, we're talking. Hey, anytime, brother. Have a safe drive. All right, so, you know, like I said, I'm out here working, man. And, dude, we got to raise money for this game. You feel me? Like, this ain't no cash cow game. It ain't no ploy to make money off these kids. You got to raise money to do this stuff. And this game is nothing but opportunities for kids. That's what the whole thought process behind it was. How can we provide? And I'm gonna tell you where it came. Another way it came from. A prep school actually asked me, how can I see the talent in Connecticut? And I had to tell them, go to AYF games, go to Pop Warner games, go to this league. They're like, man, we can't do all that. So I said, you know what? Let's bring it to one location. And so you're talking about kids that's going to get 360 pitches, air drone. They run out of a tunnel, like the whole experience. Look, right here. So this is the 860 gloves because it's Superman versus Flash.
Oh, there you go. That's what's up, man. So and you charge $40 was all the kids had to pay.
Tryouts. And here's the thing. Tryouts originally, when I originally did this game, I was going to make it free. But people came to me and said, Phil, you may not get buy-in because you got to hold people accountable for something. At least if I get your $40, you'll make sure your child show up since you paid that money. Because if you didn't pay anything, your child say, I don't want to go to practice today. What's to stop you say, okay, don't go? It's no buy-in, right? It didn't cost you anything. But I needed it to be low enough where the average family can get in. And then to be honest, we still sponsor kids.
Right. Oh yeah, of course. There's always gonna be that.
Still sponsor kids, man, because you know everybody don't got it. But this is just the idea behind the game, man. I wanted to do something big for Connecticut. So, and I'm gonna be honest, it ain't me. It's dudes like Chris, D Hart. I want to shout out Daryl Jackson. I want to shout out Daryl Sebastian. I want to shout out Mike Milner. I want to shout out who I'm missing? 860. I said Chris at 10. Oh, Ali. I want to shout out Ali Burrow. I want to shout out Larry Myers. I want to shout out my partner in crime, Tito, because I'm gonna be honest, without these dudes and all the assistant coaches, without
Tito,
these
is
guys,
he the one that you do the show with?
Yeah.
All right,
yeah,
yo, I like that, man. Yo, I be feeling that show, yo. I like that.
Thanks, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that, and we try to keep it youth football and not veer off from that. But listen, these games don't go down without these guys donating time to kids.
Oh,
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Part of the easiest thing is being the mind behind it. But when it's time to take these 350 tryout kids and do something with them, these are the men that's volunteering out there. And women, because we got a female coach. Shout out to Rachel Torres, the first ever female all-star coach in our short 2 years. So I'm grateful that the women is getting more involved in it, because you know we want to make sure that we're starting to involve the women.
You're making history. You're making history. Please share this. This is exclusive, Mr. Connecticut. Who runs Connecticut football?
Hey, listen, man. You talking to a dude? I don't know. You might get a couple haters that say I don't run it, and if I don't run it, that's cool. I'm part of the group that's running it, and all we trying to do is I'm part of the group that when I say I run it, I'm not. They can say leagues and all that. I'm talking about who's running it on behalf of these kids. I can say I'm truly doing good work on behalf of these kids. Me personally, I'm talking about me. I'm gonna shout myself out, because if you don't give yourself flowers sometimes, don't nobody do it. And I don't care about people saying, "Oh, you think you all that?" Like I tell people all the time, man. I talk about it on my podcast, Mike. That I'm not big on letting people pipe down the good that people doing. Like I see a lot that you post a lot about Rhode Island high school football and how you're trying to bring it to a place. And I think that we got to start talking about our own personal accolades and our own personal deeds that we bring into people. And I think we need to talk about it, because the truth of the matter is, Mike, if you don't talk about it, your haters ain't.
Nah, that's a fact, and
Your
we
haters
got
not,
them. That's right.
And I don't talk about my haters much because it's so much love. I decided I'm just gonna talk about the supporters much more than the haters.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm also gonna blow my own self up because I'm gonna blow my own head up. I don't got nobody to blow my head up, so I'm gonna blow my own.
My boy Coach Nod says, I hate to toot my own horn, toot toot. You know what I mean? Before you go on, Coach Nod said Big Ollie Burrows, Larry Myers Jr., Daryl Sebastian, Tito Carella, all good dudes. Real rap. I fuck with these dudes. My brother's heavy.
Yeah, that's good, man. We all been we all been in the youth scene for a long time, man. I've been out there. Like he's like all year round now, though. Time.
You gotta be now, though. You have to be now. But it's becoming a year-round activity, man. This sport is evolving. Sport is evolved.
Especially in New England. I give it props over since the COVID really catapulted New England to do spring on a real more serious level. Nas into that flag thing heavy. Like he's traveling the freaking United States with it. So I haven't jumped into that yet. I still got little 5 and 6-year-old babies, so I can't. My daughters want to do soccer and stuff, so I can't.
Yeah.
I don't have the time for it, but just shout out to everybody doing something for these kids, man.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
That's all we doing. And if you're making money, still shout out to you. Because you know what? If you saving a life, I don't give a shit that you made $10,000 doing it. I know the mother whose son not dead, thank you. She don't care how much money you made. And that's the other thing we got to stop doing. We got to stop pocket checking the community guys that's out here working with these kids, because people got to understand the youth sports is $1 billion business now.
It is. It is. That's real cap. Yo, for real.
So we gotta stop pocket checking each other when we find out somebody made a dime off of it. They should, because even if they made a dime, they worked 1,000 hours to make $1,000. Calculate that by doing nothing.
I think there's enough money for everybody to eat.
I got a lot on my mind. So, in our inner city communities, what we do is we use the word community leader to keep each other broke. Because if I said, Mike, you're a businessman that's in the youth football world, they would have no problem with you making money. But as soon as I call you a community leader that's doing youth football, they expect you to be broke.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
I want them to start recognizing that people doing good work for these kids are business people. Even if it's nonprofit, it's called nonprofit business. We businessmen at the end of the day. We got families and kids and everybody. So if it's money to be made, make the money. You're not making. Yo, I'm sorry, man. I keep getting phone calls about, and it's the All-Star line that comes to my phone. And
there you go.
Everybody out there is shut down. All rosters are maxed out. I got about 30 emails today on Instagram, emails and messages saying, hey, can I still sign up for the All-Star game? Please, my son is a stud. No, you cannot, because we got a process and we want to hold the integrity of this game to the utmost respect, so that it's too much stuff out there that has no integrity, and I want to make sure that this game remains it has great integrity. So
yo, what you're doing is, I mean, you got a Teletron coming, that's crazy for $40 a kid. So you can make it work, man. For $40 a kid, this is gonna be lit. Drop the addy again.
The address is 91 Bull Hill Lane. It's in West Haven. The gates are open up at 11 a.m. The first game start at 12. That's the 8U game. The 10U game is at 2. The 12U game is at 4. And we night capping it with the 14U game at 6 o'clock at night. It's going to be an amazing experience. 91 Bull Hill Lane, West Haven. Ask everybody, man, come out. I don't care. We had the guys from Boston come down. I think the Boston Raiders guys, Stacks and all those guys, and Keith and all of them came down. They had a beautiful time last year. They already on me. Yo, win the game. We want to come back. And so if you out there and you ain't doing nothing, man, come out, man. Let's support these kids. Watch the game. You'll see beautiful football. And it's just a good time, man. We got a DJ. We got a radio station that's going live from the event as well. So, like, we doing it big and doing a lot for these kids, man, and really make them feel like this is a big situation. Because I couldn't imagine being 8 years old and seeing myself on a Teletron and an All-Star game in Connecticut. That would have been crazy.
That's a fact, man. Oh my God. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, everyone get out there and watch these kids ball out. You're too late to get registered, and if you don't know who's running Connecticut football, you better ask somebody.
Listen, ask somebody and tap in. CTYouthAllStars.com. I'll say the website again, www.CTYouthAllStars.com. If you don't know where the game at, if you want more information, just go up there. You can see flicks from last year's game. We got a commercial running up there. That's how a lot of over 200 and like 15, 20 people registered right there online. The rest just came in person. And so, look, man, it's a great event, man. And I'm proud, man, that we were able to do this for everybody and the coaches and the kids and the communities, because I think it's gonna be a good thing, and I think it's just gonna keep growing and getting bigger.
So what'd you say, CTU football?
CTYouthAllStars.com.
Put that in the comment in the CTUAllStars.com. I probably did it wrong, but we'll see.
Yep.
CTUAllStars.com.
Correct. CTYouthAllStars.com. And just hit the website. There's a chat feature. If you got questions, hit chat. If you write in the chat, it comes directly to me. I answer it on site. Like I'm outside, so you know, I'm communicating with the people, whoever go up there and write.
You know, next once you get all this calmed down, you know, you and Nadeem hook up and we get 401 verse 860 popping. You know,
hey, listen, we
crossing state lines. You know, we crossing state lines.
We need to do it. We need to broaden this thing out where, you know, 860 is playing 203 and the winner's playing the Rhode Island winner, and then, you know, and we just doing this for our own kids. Like, no, it ain't about going to no nationals or nothing. Like, it's about exposing their talent locally to the community colleges and the big colleges. And listen, now that we know 8th graders is getting real looks, look what we can bring to our youth. Like, you know, we can expose them to that type of stuff. And for the record, I stay out the process. I'm not a hoarder of information, and I'm not a gatekeeper that's closing gates. So last year, prep schools came to me and said they would write me afterwards and say, Phil, I want the numbers to these 12 kids. I gave them the number directly and let them communicate directly. I didn't play the middle just so I could feel like I have some power. That's not how I get down. I'm not power stricken like that. So once I let them two communicate, you take your visits, you know, do what you got to do, put on your suit, and you go out and represent yourself, your family, and your community right at the meeting. And we had kids get into prep schools from the game. And I had a father go up there and say, it is official. My son did a visit and he will be going to prep school based off of that game. So that, to me, you know, it's all worth it in the end when I hear stories like that.
Tito ended up putting the right website up, and Coach Nod said, me and Phil is 1 and 2. He got me twice. I got him once. Classic games. Classics right there. Classics.
He did. He beat me. He beat me when it hurt, though. And I don't know. That one hurt more than the other 3, man. That was the get back. So I still ain't over that one yet.
Who you sending to the high school? Who's the superstars that are going up to the high school this year? Because I know you be keeping track on all them great high schools.
Listen,
up
so
there.
we have a lot of kids that's going places. Like I said, we got a kid who played for me, Jonah. He's going over to Taft on a full ride. And then we just got some talented kids. Look, I just got a kid who got an offer He's 6'5", 315 pounds. His name Carl. He played for 14U last year, my 14U. He just got an offer from a prep school. They didn't even see him. They asked me his size and said, we want to come meet him. Tell him we could give him an offer. And, so he's doing great. We got a lot of other talent. Actually, we got a kid called Jaden Booth. He's very, very talented. And he's from Boston. We nicknamed him Boston. And he's a very talented kid. His brother was a high school quarterback. I think he's over at Windsor now, so they doing good. Basically, man, all of the kids that we're coaching, we kind of stay on track with them and communicate with them, to try to help them out. But we also got the a pipeline where I pipe kids in the Supreme, and he kind of take it from the high school level and up. I kind of stay in my lane with going up to about 14, and then staying that emotional, big brother, big uncle, OG support for the kids, but he take them from an athletic standpoint and move them forward. And so soon as I see a kid that really is into his education and got the athletic ability, it's a phone call, and then he take it away. You know what I'm saying? And we stay in touch and to make sure we because he has wraparound services, a real mentoring program aspect that these kids need, because they too many got talent but don't have the family structure or the mentoring services to get them up there. And when I see somebody with that type of program, I make sure we associate ourselves so we can catapult these kids to where they got to go.
That's a fact. Is coaching in these inner city schools. It's I had a coach on yesterday. He said it's more about the community. It don't stop with football. You know what Coach Nod does, what yourself does. A lot of inner city coaches up there. I just talked to Coach Washington. All the Shea High School, all the inner city schools. It's not easy. It don't stop with football. I know Coach Nod, I always see him with a group of players, doing things with them, because half these kids don't have role models. They don't have nobody to lead them, and it's so easy to get misled to the street. So what you guys are doing is it don't stop coaching football, so salute to you, Coach Nod, all you guys. You guys are life coaches for real.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it, man. And shout out to everybody out there that's coaching youth. Sometimes whether you in it for the right reason or the wrong reason, you still end up doing good, believe it or not. Because, you might have kept a kid off the street that a car shot through the light, and had he not been there, he would have been in the middle of the street or going to the candy store. So, even the coaches that's in it for the wrong reason, shout out to them too, because sometimes, like I said, you might have the wrong intentions and end up doing good over it. So if they out there, I don't know who they are, because, I'm locked in the space that we in. But shout out to everybody out there just working with kids. It don't even got to be in football. You doing soccer or track, whatever you doing, you working with kids, salute you, because we all know dealing with the community ain't easy, man. Different personalities. You got to be thick-skinned, because sometimes, we all come from a background where people now they can say anything they want to you, and sometimes you got to bite the bullet because you got to remain professional, because you got a lot to lose. And back in the day, we all wasn't so smart to not lash back out. But, so that's why I salute anybody working with the community, because what working with the community does is it gives you self-discipline. And if you don't have self-discipline, you won't last long in this business, because it's too easy to fire back off. And at times we all do it because we human. But I know that when you're really working with kids, we all conscious about, when a parent say something or when another coach say something, we try to think like, all right, we got to have that extra layer of thinking, because we're trying to show these kids how they should act, and that's what we're doing.
And as a leader, you got to be careful who you bring on to your staffs as well, about how you got to make sure that these people you have around you are role models. Now, I'm big on bringing in, I call them like the old heads from the block that have years rehabilitated, that did their thing. Coach Nod went on record. He got screwed out of a job because of something that happened 30 years ago. I'm cool with that. But when we're bringing in guys that are fresh and doing bad things, and we always see it in youth football, because we need so much help in youth football. So we have to be mindful of who we put around us,
100%. I agree 100%. And I tell you, man, listen, most people around me is from the block, and so I mean, it is what it is. You have to understand that if you're going to get somebody to teach a kid on the block not to be there, you can't get somebody that ain't been on the block to be able to use your life experience to make it better. Those are the greatest minds. I tell people all the time, I love listening to OGs. And I don't mean OG because you older than me. I mean an OG that I know that been through something, that's talking. Yeah. I shut up and I listen like crazy. Like, you know, I was on the phone with my OG and I was out in Vegas talking to him. You know, we talking about women issues, how to be better men. And I talk to OGs a lot. And if you're not bringing in OGs to work with these community kids, who you bringing in? Yeah, you could bring in the business guy that was born with a silver spoon, but guess what? That kid can't relate to that. That's not his.
That's a fact. That's a fact. They don't know how to talk to him.
Yeah. And so, and I don't have a problem with those people being involved either, because you need them too. But you got to have people that have been through real stuff in their life if you're working with kids that's going through real stuff. Because you have to be able to communicate with them and say, look, I get it. I get that you want to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Look, let me tell you, do you know I did XYZ? Here it is. Boom. See it? That's on Google. See what I did? That was 30 years ago, but now I'm up off that. And you say you want to be like this and you want these things. Well, you can accomplish it, but you don't have to go that route that I went. And when they see it, it's like, oh, damn. Okay. I mean, it's similar if you was going to start a business and you say, yo, I'm about to start a new Microsoft. You're not going to listen to me who can't turn on a computer. You're going to talk to somebody that been through it, went through the process, and maybe started Microsoft. So when he talk, you probably going to have that meeting with him. And so it's the same thing on the youth level is we, you know, I never shun people with a background. My only thing is, obviously, if you have anything in your background with messing with kids or any of that.
Oh, that goes without saying.
You completely off, whatever. But if you have drug charges or you've been in the streets and you're going to have some things on your background, we can work around all of that. Because at the end of the day, the same community you did that in, okay, let's give back to that community.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact. And growing up in the 90s was a little different than it is now. 100%. You know, and us guys that grew up in the 90s, we're trying to give back and we're trying to correct kids and say, listen, I made this wrong. Don't do that. If you do that, this is the road it's going to take you down.
Right.
And me and Nod had this conversation about a year ago. Nod knows. But yeah, man, yo, the 16th, July 16th, get out there, man. It's going to be lit. Follow Phil Bryant. Yo, check out his TikTok pages. Yo, this dude's TikToks is crazy.
Yo, my TikTok address, it's the Bryant's with an S, the _Bryant's _show on TikTok. We got about 150,000 followers. We took some time off because, but we gonna get back on it, man.
Crazy.
You know, I love
it's all in the production, man. It's all in the presentation. You know. Shout out to you, Connecticut. We know who's running things out there. Shout out to Coach Tito, Coach Nod, everybody. Look, we got such a tight football community. He taps in from Connecticut, and our coach from East Providence taps in and knows your brother Rocket.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Coach Nod taps in, Tito taps in, you know what I mean? Everybody tapped in, Ollie Burrows tapped, you know, and everybody knows each other. But shout out to what you're doing, Coach Phil. We're going to have this conversation when we get closer to your event, man. It is what it is, man. We appreciate you coming on.
Hey, listen, I appreciate you, brother. You always reach out and you spread the word on us. And I'm thankful, man, for anybody who are willing to spread the word without looking for nothing in return except just having respect for somebody. So respect, brother.
We building something over here, you know what I mean? And it's going to go deeper than just 401 to it's going to go deep, man, because I think what football coaches do on a youth level is extraordinary. We're in the worst climate of fatherless homes, so you guys are much, much needed. Bless out to you. Get out there. Check them out. The Connecticut Youth All-Stars, man. They're coming. Teletron. That's all you got to say. Teletron.
Hey, it's Mr. Above 140 PH. Y'all have a good one. Thanks for tapping in, Mike. We'll talk, brother.
Yeah, all right, one. There you go, man. Love what he's doing over there in Connecticut. Thank you, Coach Nod, for tapping in. Really appreciate it. Coach Tito, thank you for fixing the Now, Coach Tito actually put up in the. Let me get it right here. Here it is. Coach Tito put up the correct website. It's CT Youth is in YOUTH. I was like you, like a dummy. Allstars.com. What do you say? 200 and something kids or 300 and something kids? Like that was half the number of kids that went to the damn UConn event. But yo, we're gonna have more coming up tomorrow. I think we're gonna have Blake Simpson. Shout out to what Blizzy Blake is doing. Big shout out to Wes Pennington, man. Thank you. Appreciate everything, man. Go buy Wes Pennington's book, To the Smoker. Coach Pennington, he made a donation to the podcast yesterday using the Cash App. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Mark Wright, Coldwell Bankers, Coastal Homes, man, a presidential award winner. I really appreciate that. I love what all you guys are doing. It's time we listen to the youth, right? Let me know what else is going on. Anybody want to come on and talk about their football program? We're going to talk more about what's going on in high school. I want to jump more into what Coach Washington was saying. Should there be a one-time transfer rule in high school sports in Rhode Island? What do you think? Let me know. Coach Jay Addison did comment and say that they might take all our kids. Like they might take all the kids out of Providence. I think it might send kids to Providence. No. Coach Penn don't think we should have a one-time transfer rule, and I believe neither does Yolanda Santiago. It is a good conversation to be had. Let me read in a minute what, because he did put it on his Coach Jay Addison over at Mount Pleasant posted. Let me see. He said, lots of talk around high school recruiting and players transfer, and here are my thoughts. I might have a little something to do with that. As a public school coach, I accepted the terms when I signed the offer from the state. If I don't like it, I can apply for a private school job. If someone is transferring to better their education, great. They have access to their education while they wait to be eligible to play. Public schools are located funded through the state. Having a kid from another town takes the seat and funding allocated for a kid that lives in a town is a very silly proposal. Now, one politician did say that the money could follow the kid, and there is federal funding for that. And they're just bringing up the point that if you could do it in private school to better your education, why is a student not allowed to do it in public school? So Coach Addison went on to say in his stories that if a student could transfer freely from public schools anywhere in the state, then kids could live in Providence and Pawtucket and go to NK, Portsmouth, SK, Rogers, Barrington, and so on, which I think they can right now, actually, with the loophole, through the Pathways program. Like, I believe they can if they think that this school offers something that they very much can. I'm sure some of those programs would have to recruit Providence and Pawtucket. I hate that word recruit because you would have to really recruit the parents. I mean, it kind of almost sounds for public schools like, oh, they're recruiting this. Like, what do you have to, how much you got to go through to actually recruit? Now, is there recruiting going on? Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. Oh, without a doubt. Let's make sure that we're looking at the big picture when discussing this. And I absolutely agree with that. Let's make sure we are looking at the big picture. But, if you go back and watch one of the videos from the stories that, Coach Wash, he mentioned that there's kids from every city and town in Rhode Island going to these privates and Mass and Connecticut. So we have kids from out of state that are just coming in playing, and you transfer to these programs and you don't have to sit. There's no penalty. Can we at least agree that there should be the same rules for public schools for transferring a student than private? But schools are advertising pathways like crazy. I went to a school recently and I was walking around the school, and on every pole there was a banner that basically said, "We offer pathways. We offer pathways." So schools are gonna use pathways anyway. It's gonna happen. Kids are they're gonna use loopholes. They're gonna do what they have to do. You now know that you really don't have to live in Providence to go to school in Providence. But them are my thoughts on it. Private schools are doing it. Is it fair? Is it fair that private schools cannot do it? But we could definitely talk about that. And there's a couple other things that I want to talk about, but I don't think today is the right day to talk about it. But big shout out to Breakthrough Elite 7vs7 Summer League coming up at Conley Stadium, 434 Mount Pleasant Ave, Providence, Rhode Island, June 26th to July 31st, 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. One thing I wanted to say, and I'll probably touch. Should I go into that subject right now? We'll talk about that another time. Again, big thank you, Northman Phil. I'm actually honored, appreciate it. Again, check out all the podcasts, all the shows we have coming up. Go back and watch yesterday's show with Coach Washington.
It was written in 96. Go to Yellow's downtown to get my Nike kicks. Little roadies in my soul when I write these scripts. No matter where I go, I do it all our way. And I can't forget the plug on the highway. Rhode Island.
Where you at? Where you at?
Shout out to Rhode Island.
Where you at?
Shout out to Rhode Island.
Where you at? Where you at?
Shout out to Rhode Island. Shout out to Rhode Island. Shout out to Swanati and Chachi, my brother H1 to see Roman Rock. Tell him bring back the funk funker, J Sonic, Mechalek, and my man Joey Beats. You can catch me up at Snookers with Sneak Technique. Your boy App's doing good. Hope I made y'all proud. Man, if Curdy Cut could only see me now. Saw Sturby at Jerky's, all my crew. At one point or another, rock RIU. Gotta say, if it wasn't for 90.3, your boy E might not even be an MC. Got so many friends from Prov to C-Town. Been so long, kinda hard to speak now. You know who you are and you know where I keep you. Keep this in mind till the next time I see you. From every flow to every show, I feel the Narragansett breeze from my memory. Shout out to Rhode Island.
Where you at? Where you at?
Shout out to Rhode Island.
Where you at?
Shout out to Rhode Island.
Where you at? Where you at?
Shout out to Rhode Island. Shout out to Rhode Island.
Oh shit.
Rhode Island. Rhode Island. My second home right there. Shout out to my people. Vertigo. CR. Joey Wonk. Shout out to Japan and Fed Hill. Time Machine. My man Mark, aka Bomb Drop. What up, K-Nuts? What's up, Evil? Crisis. Shout out to my man Evoke One. He made the apathy logo, man. You know we go back. Shout out to Ryan Gummersaw, Sarah Ingram.